Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Blue Feathered Stories. I'm your hostess, Blue Thunderbird Woman, also known as Carol. It's close to the end of 2020, and what a ride we have been on. One thing I know for sure is that those of us who are living this lifetime have chosen to be here in whatever capacity that we are able to show up. We have chosen to experience this lifetime. And whether we see it as a difficult time or a magical time, or somewhere in between, trust that you have divine purpose in this time. Back in October, at the last supermoon, I had the privilege of participating in a advanced shamanic teaching. And it was to work with the spirits of nature at the time of darkness. Most of the time we work with spirits of nature during the daytime, but this particular workshop was to work with them during the evening. And we were asked to journey to the setting sun, and speak to the spirit of this sun and ask for any kind of global message. I journeyed to the upper world, where I was taken to an area that I would describe best as being the Badlands, where there was this landscape of plateaus and deep valleys, and the earth was red, orange, and yellow. And I was asked to sit on the edge of a plateau overlooking the valley and seeing as far as the eye could see the horizon of the setting sun. It was so spectacular in my mind, the vision that I was given. And I can't say that I have physically ever been to a place that looks like this. Part of it felt a bit surreal, almost like I was on another planet. But in any case, there I was, sitting on this plateau, overlooking the horizon and witnessing the setting sun. The sun was bright, but in its more subdued colors of pinks and oranges and reds, reflecting the earth surrounding it. And I was shown to lie down. And I waited. I waited a long time for any kind of message. My request was to speak to the spirit of the setting sun. But I waited and waited, and all that I witnessed was silence. And out of the silence rose light language, and it was one word, and it repeated and repeated itself. And it was Narakata Narakata, Narakata. And that's all I heard, repeating and repeating. I found it a little bit unsettling because as a shamanic practitioner, when I journey easily, quickly. I go in, get my messages, and I come out. And typically I will use my clairaudient and clairvoyant, and I see and I hear the messages quite easily. But when you're sitting in silence amongst one word, Narakata, makes you wonder whether or not anything else will happen. And then the setting sun spirit began to speak through the silence. And the message was, when the sun sets, my energy flows through your soul. Starting down at your head, bringing always with you knowing. It's a knowing energy as I flow through the crown of your head. When I rise in the morning, I flow up from your feet, from the earth, to bring you the earth's energy and assist in grounding. Both my rising rays and my setting rays, we meet at your heart. And this, my child, is Narakata. Narakata. Where you become illuminated, therefore also become the sun. Ignite your own sun. Now go, child. Visit the morning sun and receive a message here. It's now been a few months. We find ourselves at the end of December, and that journey to the setting sun was done at the end of October. And I have finally come to journey and to receive the message from the morning sun. It has been calling me for some time, waiting for me to receive and to share its message. And so here we are, December 26th, my journey to the rising sun, to the spirit of the rising sun. My journey took me to the upper world, where I was taken simultaneously to 3 different summits. One summit was in a winter wonderland. Another summit was at the top of a mountain. And another summit was to the top of a crystalline structure. These are all upper world landscapes that I'm quite familiar with. And I was taken to all 3 of them at the same time. Again, the morning sun was silent. I could see her stretching slowly and rising slowly as she yawned and stretched her arms out from the darkness. then the spirit of the rising sun began to speak. She said, "Magic happens at the first ray of my sunlight. My rays are to awaken all of creation. Stand tall. Pay attention. Ignite. I am not to be worshipped in any way, but to command acknowledgement of the power of the Creator. Your growth as a human does not happen in my sunlight, but happens and takes place in darkness. My light gives you the opportunity to observe and acknowledge your growth that took place in the darkness. My rays are meant to illuminate the past, direct in the present, and guide you in the future. Find the joy in life when my fingertips caress your face. Notice how I dance on a blanket of snow, shimmering diamonds. Notice my refractions onto the earth, crystalline structure. Notice how darkness and I are forever united through our contract of equality, rendering life in a neutral state. Notice my rising from the soles of your feet to meet my setting sun at your heart. Narakata. Narakata. Now go, child. Go meet darkness as the spirit wishes to whisper secrets in your ear. Narakata.